Well, welcome into the Clear as Mud podcast. I know we didn't have the music. I've got to figure out a different way to do it because,
Man, I commissioned that music too. We fucking
yeah.
never get
Well,
the good metal music going.
the problem is the way that I have it. I'm going to do it a little bit different. I've got a little bit different way I can do it now.
Yeah.
I've learned with my streams doing my own streams, and so I'm going to do a little bit different, and I think it'll be quite good. So,
hmm
anyway, first of all, thank you guys all for joining in. We're joined today. First of all, in the room with us right now, we've got Chris the Narc. Welcome in, Chris.
How you doing, guys?
Okay, and we've got also Nerdy John is
He's eating
off.
right now. Yeah,
He's stuffing his face because he's a selfish lover,
he
and
is.
so he's over there dealing with that.
Never reciprocates. Really, he
Never
doesn't ever reach around.
reciprocates.
No.
And in the waiting room, we are joined today by Molly. Molly has been kind and gracious enough to join us, and we're going to discuss some things that occurred. Maybe not things that occurred, but It's going to be more of a. Oh, hang on a second here.
It's Faye. We got a donation from Faye Gitz.
Granny Faye. What's Granny Faye say? Oh my, is the sound not working? Hello, boys. Yes, Faye, the sound is working. I know that it's working. I can sit here and see that it's working. Shut up.
JFA.
You're not
I'm going to fight you in the octagon, buddy.
100%.
I'm gonna fold you up.
100%. We're going to get him. So
yeah, shout out to the chat, by the way. JFA, Mohand, L3G, Gara, Joey Westside, Tony Montana. We got some new people in there today.
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
I told the Discord that I was going live with you guys.
Cool.
Hell yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks
Of
for the shout.
course.
So without any further ado, I'm going to drag in Molly, and I'm going to ask you guys, chat included, let's be respectful to our guest, and let's have a conversation, right? So, so anyway, Molly, welcome to the Clear as Mud. We kind of talked a little bit earlier, but we'll just do it for formal sake here. I'm Riveter. Co-host is Banana, and like I say, we've got Chris, the Narc, is in here as well, and Nerdy John's off somewhere feeding his face. So anyway, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I like to have conversations and like to have debates. I'm fine with calm stuff. I'm fine with blood sports. I'm a product of unsupervised internet access, so I can do it all.
Okay, well, I personally don't much care for blood sports. I prefer to have a civil exchange of ideas and conversations. I feel like that is more productive. And that's kind of what we would prefer to have today. So
hopefully, let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Sure.
Okay.
So I guess real quick to that point, then I think it's probably best if I just outline at least my core things here, because I'm sure there's probably some things that are being attributed to me just because of generalization or just being put in with a group.
Just lack of knowledge. Yeah.
I don't know Quantum TV. I'm not friends with him. He seems like a pretty bad guy, honestly.
Yeah.
My only stance here is that the initial claims aren't founded as copyright abuse or abuse of the DMCA system. I think he was legally within his right to submit it. However, is the Actman's video or Mish's video fair use is not a thing that I'm commenting on. I believe that's for the court to decide. It's literally for a judge to decide.
Okay.
I don't believe he's doxed the Actman's mother. I've repeatedly asked for proof of this. If someone can give me proof on that, then I can change my position on that. But so far, I haven't seen anything for that. I mean, those are just my two main things so far. And I believe that a lot of people talking on this don't really have a firm grip on copyright, trademark. They don't seem to understand the legal precedents that I've said. I've seen a lot of people try to use case law to try to argue this without actually knowing the the actual opinions that have been laid out about the court rulings, etc. But yeah, that's
Specifically,
just,
Sawyer, right? Like that's actually what where we found you was the debate you had with Soro.
oh yeah, I mean, I woke up at like 3 p.m. because I'm a YouTuber and I lack all sense of time. And I saw you guys were all in my mentions, and I saw that people were. Seems like I've ruffled a few jimmies.
Right, which I want to
uh,
apologize for. I feel like with Twitter, it comes across as pretty heated, and I feel like I came across that way. So I want to be upfront with you on that. I wanted to talk to you about it, same as Riveter and Banana and everybody.
Oh, it's fine, man. I like the energy. I like all the energy, so it's all good. But yeah, that's just where I am. So yeah.
Okay, so let's I guess we'll take this maybe step by step. We'll try to break this down into smaller bites. So the first thing that I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about is one of the arguments that you put forth with and first and foremost, I guess I need to make my stance clear on this as well. I don't think Sorrow was in a position, knowledge-wise, to have a conversation about this. I think he was ill prepared and did not, like you say, he did not grasp all the intricacies. But I think we also have to say that you, nor I, or anybody that's engaged in this call today are lawyers, right? So none
I
of
am
us,
not a lawyer. Yes.
yeah, okay. So none of us really have any
At
type
best, we're dilettantes, right?
at best, I would say I'm probably an educated idiot.
Well, you actually have an education. Yeah, I'm a dilettante, so I'm just gonna throw that out
Okay.
there.
So, that being said, we are all speaking from a position of what we read, interpret, and understand. Right? We
Armchair.
are not. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're armchairing this.
Mhm.
We're not lawyers, so we can't say definitively this is right or this is wrong or whatever. And I think we all agree that ultimately it would be up to a judge or a court of law to make the final ruling on any of the videos in question. Is that an agreeable statement for everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seems fine enough.
Okay. All right. So one of the first things that you, and I understand kind of why you did it. You're kind of getting Saru, I think, maybe a little bit off of his game or whatever. But one of the accusations that you put forth was that he himself was using a copyrighted IP in his profile pic. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I would say it was more trademark infringement. It was a
Okay.
trace thing. He didn't show it on stream.
Yeah.
I have it in my video that's going up on
Okay.
Monday. It's literally line for line
Okay.
from that.
All right.
And
So
that's not an issue, by the way. The reason why I
yeah.
was doing that was to show absurdum, the absurd nature of whether or
Okay.
not this person grasped what trademark infringement was, if
Okay.
he could even differentiate between trademark, copyright,
Okay.
and his views on that.
You're revealing the ignorance there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Mhm.
Okay. Hang on,
Banana.
we got a donation here from Mr. Butt Savage.
Mr. Butt Savage.
He says, if I'm understanding this correctly, we are about to harass somebody. I'll take my answer off the air, gentlemen. No, we're not harassing.
JFA, the only person that's harassing right now is you, and it's me, and you're inconveniencing me with your existence.
No, you're fine, JFA.
He knows I'm joking. I know him.
Okay.
It's okay. Don't
Well,
freak
I was
out.
I was going to say he can keep harassing us every time he wants to make a dono. That would be quite fine. He can harass away. But anyway,
He likes the abuse. That's
yeah,
okay.
well, that's fine. No, so would you say that some of your stuff would be borderline infringement on intellectual property as well?
I would say that a lot of my stuff would be fucking freaking infringement.
No, you can
Or,
say
well, I guess I
fucking.
could
You can say fucking.
fuck.
You can say fucking, shit, bitch, cunt, whore. I don't care. We don't care.
A lot of my stuff would definitely be infringement. I've been doing YouTube since I was in like middle school. And that was back when MLP and anime and stuff was really popular. So I've had run-ins with Hasbro. I've given Hasbro hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad revenue that I'm still never seeing. That's supposed to be turned over. But yeah, no, my characters would definitely follow under that. I do certain
Yeah.
things to skirt it,
Yeah.
such as not using certain identifiable marks that they use. I don't
Mhm.
use their characters anymore, but by mere virtue of some of my content having their clips, etc., I'm subject to having litigation thrown against me, which is it's just not likely.
Yeah.
I know their security team and their legal
Yeah.
team. I've had calls with their legal teams,
Yeah.
and I know I'm in their security things because their emails leak because they have the security of a wet paper bag.
Yeah.
So I know the
Okay.
conversations that have been had about.
All right. So your whole reason there was just simply to kind of put Soro on his heels as far as trying.
Well, to see if he understood,
Yeah,
like,
and
yeah,
he did.
I
He does it, and okay, so that's fine because I was going to say I've watched a few of your videos. I'll be honest with you, your content is not my cup of tea. Um, I felt like honestly, I felt like I needed to go take a shower after watching some of it. Your thumbnails, dude, while are very eye catching, I'm really kind of surprised that YouTube lets you get by with those thumbnails.
What can I say? You know, I'm just built different. Okay.
I guess so, dude. And hey, good on you, right? I mean, because I mean that's the kind of stuff, because I know the content that you make and the gameplay and stuff. That's for a younger audience, and I'm sure the young
Now, my average audience is about 22, 23.
really,
At least that are watching this. Yeah, I mean, they
okay,
certainly either that or they got access to mommy's credit card because they simp a lot.
yeah.
Um,
So that was the other thing I know because you have the whole OnlyFans stuff, right?
yeah,
Um,
dude, I'm the biggest slut on the internet. I got an OnlyFans
hey,
and everything, Patreon too.
good for you. I'm not. I don't. I'm old, right? So I don't do the OnlyFans. I'm past caring
nah,
about
you
that
can do
shit.
the do older. They have like there's people with niche.
Yeah,
Dude, yeah, there's a
Like,
couple.
there's
There are a couple people
1%.
out there who would want to pay for old
Freaky.
man feet
I'd
pics.
pay.
There you
I'd
go.
pay.
Yeah. Chris would pay. Yeah, so you
I'd
already
pay.
got one paying customer. There you go.
Yeah, I'd
I
pay.
got listen. Ain't none of you seen my damn crusty ass feet. Okay, you can just put that shit right up on the shelf. That ain't happening.
I wanted to. Sorry.
But anyway, all right. So we kind of got that covered or whatever. Now the other thing was that you said is the question was did Quantum have a legal right to file the DMCA strikes against all the people that he filed them against?
Not all the people. To make that very clear, I do not follow every literal who that's been talking about this. Obviously, there's every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to put their opinion here. This is free clout. This is
Yeah.
great content
Yeah.
for them. It's obviously a huge revenue booster, a huge ego stroker, and a huge sub gainer. I'm not
Yeah.
faulting people for doing that. That's how the game works. But I can't be knowledgeable about every situation, so I only covered the specific
Yeah.
one that's the biggest one regarding Actman himself.
Okay. So
So how did
Uh,
you find out about the drama? I'm curious.
I'm terminally online, so I use Twitter because I hate myself, and I see the Actman stuff that comes on there a lot. And I have this thing. I just hate dog piles, especially if I don't believe that the person is as bad as they are. Like whether it's Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Game Theory,
Yeah.
it could be anyone. I don't. It doesn't matter if I like them as a person, but if I see, it's just if I keep on seeing it constantly that like X person is literally worse than Hitler or something like that, I just tend to have to say something.
Okay.
So like a hate mob, like a Twitter hate mob, and this is kind of like why I found I had a hard time finding any reason to like not like you. Like I just was like yeah, like we agree on some pretty core things. Like the amount of hate mobs and grifting that goes on in the space, especially by people who otherwise don't know anything about the topic. Yeah, we can agree on that. But I want to ask you to put it back on you is like shouldn't you, if you're going to go after some of these people, and granted you've been able to show without a doubt that especially Soryu was unable to really tell you anything about it. But shouldn't you know some of the even smaller, if you're going to go after people, some of those smaller cases like intimately, if you're going to take that line of argument?
No, because I'm not making an argument about those cases. I'm
You're
not
just
making it.
attacking
I'm also
theirs.
not even. I'm not even making a determination of what is or isn't fair use here. That's not for me to determine. That's literally for a court of law to determine. We have legal precedent set for reason, and I think we should have more of this because we're in such a tumultuous space that hasn't had a lot of case law. We had Ray William Johnson. We've had equals 3. But this isn't in the Ray William Johnson case. Ray lost that case. We
No, he
need
didn't.
more precedent.
No, he didn't.
Against Junkin Media? Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
In fact, the court. Okay,
No,
well,
he
we
didn't.
can pull it up right now.
I've got it right here. We can pull it up right here. I got the article. If you look what I'm sharing, I've got it pulled up right
Screen
here.
share.
Okay.
Hang on. Let's see.
Well, another case would be H3H3, which Ethan Klein won that one.
Well, let's address this first.
Yeah,
this
let's
first
take
point.
it.
We'll
Yeah,
go
let's
through
take it step by step.
We don't want to get it carried away from the.
Okay.
So he's watching. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. You watching there? And we'll go over through this, right?
Yeah. Do you have the source for this?
This is Variety Magazine.
Can you post the source in the chat? No, I think I'm on the same one.
Okay, if you look I've got it on stream. If you look and click on me, you'll see I got live. You can watch my stream. You can see what I'm sourcing.
I'm in the stream.
Okay. All right. So this is an article from Variety Magazine, and it's about the Junkin Media versus Equals 3 settled YouTube viral video copyright lawsuit, right? Okay. So Junkin Media filed a lawsuit against Ray William Johnson's Equal 3 Studios. Okay. And then what happened is that after basically what happened was Ray William Johnson got tired of these, what he felt were false DMCA and that they were because he was citing fair use. Okay. So they went to court. He sued Junkin Media, and he's the one who initiated the lawsuit. Okay. And this said that, he said here that says after Junkin submitted YouTube takedown notices under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act for several Equal 3 videos in November 2014, he sued Junkin, arguing that the materials in questions were covered under fair use. Okay, since last October, a federal judge ruled in favor of Equals 3, which is Ray William Johnson, for all but one of the contested Junkin videos, finding that most were transformative in nature. However, Junkin subsequently appealed for a ruling on which videos at issue were in fact transformative because, and Turkey Tom did a video on this, which covers this.
I think we should just read the article before we go into
okay, but anyway, he says
non-legal
okay.
experts.
Said here, given that the judge had not entered a summary judgment in Equals 3's favor. So before the judge didn't cross the I's, dot the T's, or whatever, they filed an appeal. The case went to trial, and then after hearing the evidence, the jury found that Equals did not have fair use rights to any of the 48 Jenkins had alleged were infringed. Okay?
So that would... I'm confused. This is just saying what I said. All 48 videos were found not to be transformative enough. And if you read the legal brief, they mentioned that the commentary that was given about the clips were not substantive enough to justify fair use. That was the legal opinion on that from the court.
Then why was I read earlier that they had settled out of court?
He lost this fight, as you just read.
Says the terms of the settlement between the parties announced. Okay, I misread it. I apologize. You're correct. The terms of the settlement between the parties announced Friday were not disclosed. The agreement lays the groundwork for a collaborative business relationship for the future. Okay. All right. So I misread. I apologize. You're correct. So he did lose that argument. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Which is why I think we need more legal precedents on this matter.
Yeah.
Because fair use is important. I think most people don't know what fair use is. I don't think most, and that's, I don't know. It depends on the whether or not they really should. It's just that big YouTubers often bring up fair use. What you're talking about, Doug Walker, the Actman, H3H3, and H3H3 obviously has a far better grip than most people. However, he doesn't do a great job of explaining it, and I think a lot of people just don't understand what fair use is. And I think we should have just more legal precedent so that we can.
Well, I mean,
I agree, Molly. I hold on one second, John. And I think that like a lot. The problem is a lot of these never go to trial. Is that because there's people cave to like either like a copyright strike, whether it's fair or not, instead of either they don't have the capital to like go take it to trial or hire a lawyer. Yeah, it would be nice if a lot of these would go to trial to set further precedent. Go ahead, John.
I would say, well, it's like Ethan himself might not have the best understanding, right? But he had a whole legal battle about this that took like a year, 2 years to settle. And the courts won in his favor for it. I think in terms of like people abusing copyright, I think a perfect example would be someone like Susie Liu. She initially was angry because there was a clip from a Let's Play she did, and people were kind of memeing on the clip or like inserting it into their own memes. And she was angry about that and started copyright striking channels that were doing it. That's why the initial drama with her started. It wasn't people are now like focused on like her whole thing with like Tipster, John Swan, that kind of stuff. But in reality, like a lot of the copyright stuff that started was because of memes.
Yeah, I have no idea who this person is. They are not on my radar.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, I want to go, I guess, circle back for a second here. So you became aware of this because of the Actman situation, right? That's when it first popped up on your radar. So
Yeah.
what is your understanding about that whole situation as far as Actman not understanding what fair use was?
As far as Actman's understanding of what fair use is, or
Yeah. Do you believe the video that Actman made? Well, there was 2 videos, right? His initial video, which Quantum filed a DMCA against, and YouTube overturned it and said, no, this was fair use. Okay. That was the first. There was 2 videos that he made. The first one, YouTube said, no, it's fair use, and rejected his copyright. And then Quantum had we'll say a meltdown, a spurg, whatever you want to call it, where he got upset, was in rant and raving to whatever rep that he got on in the chat that day for YouTube, complaining about how this made him look because he was just using their system. Okay. And I think that is telltale that Quantum doesn't understand what fair use is.
Okay, so in this situation, I'm not making a determination of fair use. I'm not a copyright lawyer. I'm not a judge. My thing is it abuse? When you're filing a DMCA, typically you have to take in consideration whether or not something is fair use. That does not mean that you have to come to the positive determination that something is fair use. It is simply that you have to take into consideration. And to say that someone isn't taking something into consideration is a very hard thing to prove legally.
Okay.
So
I think
like,
I know what you're
think
saying
yeah.
here. If I could probably help us understand each other a little bit better. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that what you're trying to point out is that like Quantum TV may have legitimately thought that he had a legal case by filing those DMCA's. So saying that he had no, like it was false to file those DMCA's is kind of unprovable because we can't read Quantum's mind, and he may just be ignorant of the law. And if he did have an actual legal case there, he has every right to go pursue that, even if he's wrong, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, right and wrong is determined by the courts.
Yep.
He made the claim, and as far as I know, Actman did his video. He made fun of him, as we do. I make fun of people too. I'm not saying that's bad or good. Actman saw that the footage was being used was his intellectual property. He filed his claim. He seems to be relatively understanding of the precedent. As far as I know, he actually went through the process of registering the video even. So yeah, I mean, like I'm not, again.
Okay. I'm going to argue with you just a little bit on this because I have been following this, and I've actually had conversations with. Hang on a second. Shit. Quantum, Yeah, I had an old man moment. I've had conversations with Quantum. I've had conversations with his right-hand guy, a guy by the name of Anonymous 007.
Yeah, you were in the Discord server.
I was in
for
the
quite a
Discord
while.
server for quite some time. Quantum, and he's made this statement, so I'm not talking out of school, as it were. Quantum has made this statement that if a video pops up on his copyright section of his channel, right? He believes that if it pops up, that he can file a DMCA against it.
I'm sorry. So if he, what was Quantum's statement? I was
Okay,
So-
so you okay. So if somebody takes part of your, like, if one of your videos or your streams or whatever type content you put up, right? If somebody takes that or whatever, then the automatic ID will, if
Yeah,
you
the
go into
content
the
ID
copyright,
system.
you'll go in and says, hey, this video out here, it's used this video, right? And then it will give you an estimate of what percentage of your video was used, right?
Sure.
Okay. Quantum has made the statement that anytime one of those videos shows up on his ID, he files. And he said, well, 100% of it, used 100% of it. And I know for a fact on videos that he has claimed, there was nowhere near 100%, and more likely, maybe 1 to 2%, possibly. In some situations, he didn't follow through with it, but he threatened copyright just because people used his picture or used his likeness.
Yeah, I can confirm this. I had made I think it was my first or second video on him. He had said in my comment section that because I use the legal branding, aka his face, that he had legal grounds to copyright strike me.
Well, that
Same
would
thing
be
to me.
trademark usually. So you are using his trademark images. So it'd
Can
be
you
like
trademark a
if,
face as a public figure?
if that's his thing.
Can you trade?
No,
I mean,
you
it's
can't.
parody. It's a you can parody
Wait, are
endlessly
you
a public figure.
parodying him by just using his face? Or
Sure.
But
Sure.
In a
no, like my
thumbnail, it's
question is like, do you own
But
do you
even
own
then,
the
that's not even
copyright to your own
part of my-
face?
That's not even part. Actually, it depends here. Because if a photographer
Mm-hmm.
takes a picture of you, they actually own the specific copyright to that image of you. Celebrities get in trouble for this all the time, using pictures of themselves. But this isn't.
That's if there's a prior
I'm
contract, by
failing
the
to
way.
see how this is related to whether or not he was able to submit a DMCA claim. You're going
Well,
on about him striking
okay.
these other channels, or
All right.
him saying like, if
Okay.
I see this thing.
Well, okay.
This
Well,
doesn't
that's
really
okay. That was
assist in analysis.
that's because you said Quantum seems to have a good grasp of what fair use is. I'm telling you, he does not.
Of his legal requirements, it seems, is what I'm
But-
saying.
Okay.
By going through
fine.
the process of getting it registered. Again, I'm not making a determination of whether this guy is right or wrong. I've never necessarily have of if this is fair use. Just, is this guy a copyright abuser in this specific Ackman case? Because I can't follow every 100 plus
Sure.
people.
Okay. So
doing stuff.
here's
So-
here's the thing.
Sorry.
So does he have the right, if a video pops up under his content ID, and even if it says, I don't give a crap, let's say it says 2% out there, does he have a right to file a DMCA against that?
If he's actively considering whether or not this video is fair use, then yes, he does. That is just legal. Like, is there something in the law that you're trying to pin at that would
No,
suggest
what
that
I
someone
will
can?
say is this, okay? Does he have a right to do so?
Like a
yeah,
legal right, a moral right? Or...
He has a right. He has a
Well,
legal
obviously
right.
Legal. We're not talking. We're not
Yeah, we're
moralizing. That's
moralizing.
silly.
No.
Okay,
Does
then
he have
yes,
a, okay? Does he
100%
have a
legal right.
okay? Does he have a legal right? And the answer is yes. He has the legal right. But what he has to understand, okay, and this is something, and I don't know if you're aware of this or not. I've tried to get him aware of this. I've tried to share knowledge with him. Is if you abuse the content ID, right? If every video that comes up there that they ID, if you're filing a DMCA against every one of them that comes in, which is essentially what he's been doing, that is considered abuse of the content ID, right? And that can get your channel terminated.
That's
YouTube.
not okay. Wait, hang on. Do you understand that the content ID system is not a legal thing, right?
I know
That
exactly
these
what
are
it
two
is.
separate. Yeah,
I
okay.
know
So you
exactly what.
understand that this is
Yes.
separate. Filing a DMCA is not connected to
Okay.
the
When
content
you
ID system legally.
okay, but when you use the content ID and you use that to file a DMCA takedown of a video, right?
Mm-hmm.
That initiates the legal process. Okay,
Yep.
because that is a legal act that you're doing.
Via
Okay.
the DMCA, it has nothing to do with the copyright ID system. That's just something that YouTube put in there to make
I mean,
it
saying
more
nothing to
easy
do is
for-
not entirely accurate. I mean,
No,
it
it's-
definitely has something to do
Do you
with it.
think that the
It's-
content ID system is part of the legal process?
No, it's used to enact a legal process.
All
That's
the
how,
content ID, no, hang on.
content.
All the content ID system is there for is so that people who own a copyrighted material can better find the content on YouTube to enact legal actions. This is
in
Okay.
that, in
YouTube
that way, it
issues
has
with
something to
this.
do with the legal process. Yes.
Can I
it's
can
not
I say
nothing.
something real
Yeah,
quick?
Go ahead,
Let
Chris.
me ask you something, Molly. The video in question that caused Soru to be striked in the first place, did you ever see it?
No, I didn't. I told him specifically I'm not speaking on his case.
Okay,
I'm not
so
making a
this is
determination about fair use.
so this is the thing. I understand that point, but the situation being, and this is a good example of what happened with the Ackman thing. So this kind of plays in tandem with the situation involving Ackman. The situation involving Soru. Soru did a video on a video that was not his. He was reacting to a video on another creator called Klutzy King. Klutzy King created a video using clips of Quantum TV, much like everyone else, in commentary to basically honor the guy and criticize him on those aspects. Soru referenced that, used that, transformed it. Quantum saw it pop up in the ID tool and struck the video because he didn't like what was being said. That is
Well, that's your
admitted.
interpretation.
No. That's
Do you have that
admitted in
text?
the email. Yeah, that's in the email that
Can we-
Soru presented to
Can we
me.
see the?
Yeah, I can bring that up real quick. So the thing is with him is that any time that any sort of content that is brought up using his face, his content whatsoever, he will strike it if it's not in positive manner of him. That's the abuse that everyone has a problem with. So let me dig through this. I have it pulled up.
It sounds a little bit like you're interpreting his actions of if it's only positive, then he'll leave it up. If it's negative, he'll take
But
it down.
That's literally what he does. I have the email right here from YouTube and Quantum's email as well. Riveter, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Cool. And if we can go over that.
Where they determined it to be within fair use, and Quantum decided to write an entire message based on that aspect and get upset about it, like he did with Ninjishin back in 2013.
I don't know who Ninjishin is, especially
And then
back
just-
in 2013.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that this has been an ongoing situation since 2013, his rampant abuse of the copyright system. That's the
So
situation.
Again, to like call it abuse, you have to determine that this person isn't taking fair use into account. That is
Which
you're
is
saying
what
that
he's
he
doing.
is an abusive person, abusing a legal procedure. Apparently, YouTube doesn't think so. You just have to substantiate that a lot more.
Substantiate-
You're using a lot of legal terminology without having anything to really back that up that's legal.
This is the thing, and you've been on YouTube for a long time, right? So
Yeah.
an example of looking at past dramas, but you said you didn't know anything about the Susie Liu thing. When it comes to this kind of situation where people are constant rampant abusers of this system to silence criticism against them, and it's obvious to silence criticism against them, this is how they go about it.
I can't.
This has been a
believe this.
habitual
Can you just send
situation.
this in the chat?
Yeah, it's right there on the screen with Riveter. So Quantum's
I
response
can't
is at the
read
bottom.
this. Can you
Yeah,
just send it in the chat, the screenshot.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Let me pull this up real quick. Send this general. Oop. So this is the email that YouTube sent back after Quantum's failed strike against his channel at the time. They determined it to be within fair use. So Quantum TV decides to use the factors of 3 fair use and decides to break down fair use in there, stating that this is a video against his infringed copyright, which is not correct. The video itself is considered fair use by YouTube, and he had no grounds to strike it in the first place. It wasn't even his own intellectual property, nor his video.
Is this an email from Quantum here at the very bottom? That's what we're reading.
Yep. So at the
Supporting
bottom,
evidence of their desire to take 100% of the original video without any consideration for fair use. Here's a screenshot of the content creators I'm dealing with. Here's their response to telling me to consider the 4 factors of fair use, practically factor 3. And I'm guessing this bottom one is what Quantum is saying, or?
Correct. He copied and pasted what he could from the YouTube system and decided to send a response to YouTube. Now, another example of this is when Ninjician and him had an argument. Instead, he had a more vitriolic
before we
response.
go on to the other person, let's just deal with this one. So what is the claim that you're making? You're claiming that he only took down this video because it was negative about him?
So his interpretation, and in the deleted video on the controversial truths where he threatened to copyright strike anyone that uses his property whatsoever from now on, he determined, based on the ID tool, it came up as 100%. Now, the video in question after watching it does not determine that. If you look at it from a creator standpoint, that does fall within a protected transformative video. Now, the ID tool popped up 100%, Quantum struck the video, and then YouTube determined it to be fair use.
Okay, so
that's what's happening.
Yeah,
this is supposed to show that Quantum is using this.
So yeah,
in
he's
response.
being told that this video is using 100% of his thing. He believes that it's not fair
which is
use,
incorrect.
And then he files.
Which is incorrect. If he watched the video, there would be no reason for him to file that DMCA in general if he watched the video and determined it himself. There's no reason to send that sort of strike to a channel.
He's using the tools available for him. I can't. I mean, if it's saying that it's 100% usage of his content,
which it wasn't.
Files, he's doing what he should do. He's filing. He's letting the processes play out. That's not abuse.
That is
doing
abuse.
What you're supposed to
do. If you watch the video and you as a content creator would feel this video would also be transformative, I can pretty much say that without a doubt, all of us here who are content creators would sit there and go, this video is not something that you would be even worth striking on. But Quantum did it anyways, even though it popped up in the ID tool as 100%. Now, an example here is the ID tool, and we all as creators know, is pretty inaccurate most of the time. You're going to rely on a bot to determine that this is 100% copyrighted material.
The YouTube tool is pretty advanced for what it is, actually. Yeah.
It isn't though, because an example is some other creators.
All the time, and I do a lot of shit to try to get around it back in the day. And it's pretty good at catching me.
Well, that's because those companies that were looking at you have teams of people looking over videos, so that's a difference than a creator.
Not usually. Hasbro uses an automatic system, and most Japanese companies don't actually have fair use in their country. And
well, yeah, you are right about
international stuff.
Yeah, the Japanese don't give a shit, especially Nintendo. They'll strike your ass for no reason.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't see this as abusive. If he's seeing it, if I'm seeing someone's taking, which has happened quite a few times, especially with the one animation that I did recently on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
If they're taking 100% of the thing, personally, I don't strike it. But if I was like, I don't want these people to just take 100% of my stuff, just re-upload it on their channel,
right?
And I'm being told that this is 100%, and I'm just, yeah.
Here's a thought.
I don't think this is abusive.
If the content ID is used to automatically claim a video and you don't ever manually review it, is that abusive because you're not doing your due diligence to check out and see if it actually is abusing your copyright? Or I mean, if it's actually like, if it's not a hiccup in the content ID.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is with him though is that he does watch these videos. It's been proven multiple times.
Wait, so then that
goes against your point.
It goes against my point in what regard that he watched this video all the way through, saw that it was
saying that he is using his due diligence to verify
it depends.
That the content is being
it depends if you're talking about like abusing the content ID tool as opposed to abusing copyright DMCA. So
yes,
like
which Sorry, but
No, go ahead.
No. I want you to finish your point because I
I
want.
was just going to say,
it.
if he was abusing the content ID
Mm-hmm.
system, that would be beneficial to your point because it means that he's just like letting it claim videos as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to going and sifting through each and every one to make sure that there's not some kind of hiccup with the automatic system and that there actually is, somebody's using his intellectual property or what have you.
Which is in a sense, I understand where you guys are coming from, but this is the thing about when it comes to his ordeal and his situation when he deals with videos. If they're negative about him, he goes through them, he watches them. The ID tool pops up. He even stated in the deleted video, if the video pops up anything higher than 30%, he will strike the video regardless if it falls within that time frame or even within that amount of copyrighted material.
So,
he stated that himself.
And you're saying that he also watches these videos as you just submitted to. So then, so he is taking in consideration the fair use. He's mentioning specifically why he believes this video doesn't fall underneath fair use is all you have to do. You understand the consideration that a video is fair use does not mean that you have to come into a positive result in favor of the other person. He can look at this. He can review it. He seems to have his own metrics of saying like 30%. Then he's relaying that to
Which
what
can
are
be
the core tenets
done.
of fair use. And he's going and saying like, hey, this video is using a substantial enough amount of my work. I don't believe it follows fair use because of these and these reasons. I wish to file a DMCA notice. He files. Now, that's where the legal process starts. And that's where it's determined, is this fair use? Is this not fair use, etc. That's not abusive. That's literally how our system works. Now, I have issues with
hold
how
on.
our
There's a
system
caveat.
works.
Hold on. There's a caveat there, and then we definitely need to put. He has not gone to court for any of these cases, has he?
No, not a single one of them.
Okay, so we could say we could draw a we could hypothesize or speculate that if he had an actual legal claim, surely he would go to court all the way if he wasn't if he was sure that somebody was stealing his content. He would pursue that.
Wait, no, hang on. How expensive? Have you ever gone to court?
That's a red herring.
That
That
is
is a red. That hold on, pause.
That's not a red herring.
That's a
You're
red
saying
herring.
that surely he would file
Listen,
this thing.
Hold on, pause 1 second. That is red herring, and I've been perfectly fair to you in this conversation. I want you to understand that it doesn't matter if he doesn't have the monetary capital to pursue a legal case. He has to find a way to do it if he's going to continue to do this. It's not like you can just that is abuse. Like if it's not anyone's fault other than your own that you don't have the money to go to court. Do you not understand that?
So what I'm saying here is to say that
answer that question. You need to answer that. I'm not, because you can't go to another thing.
Okay, is it abuse that he's not suing them, or can you restate your question? Just
okay.
Sentence, then,
no, that's okay. Here. So, if Quantum doesn't take his case all the way to court with any of these claims, we could speculate that that's abusive, regardless of the fact that he may not have the monetary capital to pursue those claims. He has to find a way to do that if he's being honest. Yes or no?
No, I disagree
Why?
completely. The reasons of why is if he is going through the process, if he's doing this, and he doesn't have the monetary capital, you don't just automatically lose your rights to copyright. For example, I can't afford a $90,000 litigation thing that might take 2 years to settle, such as H3H3. I don't have the willpower to be able to garner up that capital. You wouldn't say that H3H3 was in the wrong because he wouldn't be able to sue the person who claimed his videos, would you? And so I would carry the same weight with this. Just because Quantum TV doesn't have the monetary capital to sue literally every single person, or the monetary capital to take a 2-year legal battle, that doesn't mean that he automatically loses the right to settle. Now, you are initiating legal processes, and if he wishes to continue, which is part of it, if he wishes to continue.
Well, here's the thing. So. Even if somebody were to counterclaim or whatever, to take it to the next step to escalate it, he would. And this is my naivety when it comes to the legal system. I'm not a fucking I'm just a guy on the internet, but I'm asking if somebody were to continue that process, he would be dragged to court regardless if he had the money, right? Like court appointed lawyer and everything. Yes or no?
Well, this would be a civil case.
Civil, so there would not be an appointed lawyer. You can't just
Okay,
go
see,
get
so I don't
yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
don't know about that part. But
So,
that's my ignorance.
Okay, so we got a donation, and it was asking you a
Uh-oh.
question. So the Gara of the Rage this is directed towards Molly, said on the copyright claims that you had from Hasbro, were they a manual claim or were they a bot claim?
So typically, a lot of them say manual, but that's it's a little bit of a misnomer. So anytime that you fill out that form, it's counted as like a manual claim, but you can have that done automatically. In a lot of cases, you can see just the sheer amount. We've tested this a lot of times. Just using the words MLP back in the day would get you a claim from Hasbro that would say manual. It would be a black screen, and it would just have the title. I've had quote unquote manual claims of showing where to legally, without using any of the footage, legally buy their stuff. Again, not using any footage, not using any audio, etc. So yeah.
Okay, so the next question. This is
I just realized it doesn't matter if the monetary part doesn't matter at all because we can't speculate on his financial situation. Like that's not something that's in play. Like that's still a red herring to me. I don't know. Sorry.
so my,
You can
okay.
call
So
that a red herring.
okay, so here's my question, right? So and I'm going to take this from the stance that maybe you're not aware of this. Okay. But going forward from when he filed the original DMCA against Mischief, going forward, okay, I know of, I think it's 6 creators now that he has filed a DMCA against. Okay, those creators the initial one was Mischief. Now, Mischief alleviated the situation because he deleted the video. He then subsequently re-uploaded it after it got a lot of attention was garnered. He re-uploaded it, and Quantum never refiled a DMCA against him. Okay. The second person that I know that in this time was Actman. Actman, the very first video he did, that video was rejected as being fair use. Okay. The next person that I know that he filed one against was this is kind of a toss up because they were roughly around the same time. One of them was I always get these two mixed up. Was it Rep? No, it wasn't Repzilla. It was
Repsion?
Repsion.
Repsion?
Okay.
Yeah, I used to follow that guy.
Okay. So Repsion did a video about the what a vast majority of the commentary community believes is what's the word I'm going to use here? Abuse of the DMCA. Okay, that's the way I'll put that. Quantum filed a takedown notice against him. Again, YouTube rejected that as well. Okay, so there's 2 instances that YouTube said, no, this is fair use. Kick it on down the road. He then also filed against a guy by the name of Hypocrite Hunter 666. Now, I helped Hypocrite go through the process because he'd never dealt with copyright, strikes or anything like that before. We helped him because he lives overseas. I don't know, for some reason it's taking a little bit longer. I think he's supposed to hear back on that, I think Monday or Tuesday this next week, something like that. The next one was, I don't know what order it was, but we had Zorro, or not Zorro, what's his name? Shit.
Toru.
Yeah, him and then Klutzy, right? And in both of those situations, YouTube said no, fair use on down the road, okay? So I guess the issue here is this, to me, all right, is while, yes, he has a right to file the DMCA, but here's the thing, you cannot knowingly file DMCA and knowingly know it was fair use, and you're just using the tool as a means to which to try to stop criticism.
No, hang on. You just contradicted yourself. You're
No,
saying he has the right to file the DMCA, but then you're saying that he's knowingly doing,
I
not
s-
considering fair use, which means he doesn't have the right to
Which
file
mean
the
you'd have to
DMCA.
prove intent there. That's what.
yeah,
That's what.
that
Molly.
What? Even
yeah,
just in your own statement, what you're saying is
okay.
he's got the right, but then he also legally wouldn't
Quantum
have the right.
Quantum
during
has
that system.
Quantum has stated, okay, Quantum has stated that he uses the DMCA, the content ID tool. He uses it to try to stop the negative videos about him.
Okay, so there's intent. There it
He
is.
stated this. The videos are now
In the
deleted.
video.
The videos are now
I
deleted.
still have it.
But we have it backed up, okay? Because this is the internet and nothing ever is going away permanently. He has stated he uses it to try to stop the negative videos about him. He is 100% blatantly abusing the content ID. Okay. Now, does he have a right
I
to?
wouldn't
Okay.
agree with that, honestly.
Okay.
Necessarily.
Okay, that's actually really big. So we've
Yes.
now
Okay.
found common
So here's the
ground.
thing. He has a right. Yes, he
Sorry.
has a right. I don't argue that. But he does not have a right, okay, to blatantly use it just to try to stop negative videos, okay, that fall within fair use. The problem is this. And I honestly do believe this. Quantum in his mind, in his world that he lives in, believes, and because he stated this as well, that if you use over 2 to 3 seconds of anybody else's content, you are violating their copyright.
You are
He's-
possibly doing it, yeah.
No,
No, yeah, 100% you are
No.
possibly doing
No.
that. You can use
No.
images as well that are violating someone's copyright. For example,
No.
again, celebrities using photographs of themselves is violating the copyright held
Mhm.
by the photographer
Mhm.
in that case.
Okay.
It's not now the portion, the
If-
percentage of the work used is taken into account. That is true. However, that is a correct statement that you are possibly. He's not. If he's saying you are 100%, it's a possibility. It would have
It's
to be legally
technically
determined.
correct in a broader sense, but in this specific instance, it doesn't work.
if
Well,
you-
also too, when I'll let you go on for one
Given
second.
the context
When-
of the situation, is what Riveter is saying, and what you're saying generally is that it is possible. So to clear
given
that up for everyone.
Well, when celebrities
I'll
often
say
use photos of themselves from photographers or paparazzi or whoever takes of them, it's not usually in a transformative format. It's usually, hey, look at my new profile picture. Look how good I look,
yeah,
etc.
of course.
All these are people either making fun of Quantum in a meme format or criticizing him for his takes.
Which is
Okay, so-
parody.
So again, to reiterate what I was saying from the very beginning, my position isn't that what he's doing or what these other people are doing is fair use or not. What I'm saying is, was it abusive to file the DMCA in the case of Actman, which I don't believe. Before you said, I don't know why we're talking about 2 to 3%, because it seems like, or 2 to 3 seconds, because before you mentioned that his threshold was 20 or 30% of the video is when he starts to pursue action.
He said it wouldn't be worth it because usually those don't go anywhere, but he would strike it if YouTube would let him win. That's an exact quote from him. Another example of him abusing the system is actually with another channel called Jolster. Jolster G4K. He used 2 seconds of
Again, I
Quantum's
don't
saying
know
something.
who
Yeah,
Jolster is.
no, I get
I'm
it,
not
but
making
this
a
is
determination here.
no.
I've made it very clear
I
that I'm
understand.
thinking about
He's
whether
just
or
using an
not.
example.
I'm
It's an
using it as an
example to
example.
illustrate the
Again,
broader point.
I'm making a thing about, did he abuse the copyright system when he filed it against Actman?
Yes,
How about-
because there was a hot takes video that was built around, edited around his take. That is parody. That is commentary. That is what ended up the Matt
Okay,
Haas
so
H3
what you're
lawsuit.
doing right now is called illegal. You're using things that would be
No,
considered
it's
legal
not.
defense. What,
But that's
Uh,
literally what
wait,
happened.
What?
Molly,
Yes, that would be
Molly,
literally illegal. What do you
What
mean?
he's doing is showing a pattern of behavior to justify an opinion based off of like of different situations that you are not aware of, that you should be aware of if you're
Hang
going
on,
to form an opinion on it.
I don't think you actually even listened to what I said.
Okay, go ahead.
saying that like it's parody, it's criticism, etc. It's literally a legal defense for fair use. Yes, that's literally what it is. Saying that no, this would fall under fair use. I'm criticizing this person. I am using this for this review material, etc. That's legal defense. Yeah. That- I don't know
Okay.
why you would be against that.
But
I don't know why you
you're
got
sitting
so
there.
mad about that.
You're telling Chris you don't know anything about this issue, and the point of Chris telling you about this issue is to paint a broader picture contextually
That
for you
doesn't
that you
matter
should
for the
know
initial
to
issue,
inform
though.
you so you can have an informed opinion. It's which is
that's the
kind of
whole
the
point.
whole crux of your point arguing against Saru. We're putting it back on you.
Well, no, sorry, I don't even know why you would bring him up. He didn't know much of
Listen,
anything.
here's my opinion. You did absolutely everything you should have done with Saru. Saru should not have gone online and fucking had literally no idea what he was talking about. So I can't fault you for just completely flaming and eviscerating Saru. I know some people are emotional about that, but me as somebody who doesn't really give a solid fuck, I think more power to you, dude. But what we're doing here is illustrating how you could potentially be doing the exact same thing. Does that not make sense?
By saying doing the exact same thing, I'm assuming you're trying to say that I'm ill-informed because I don't know these other cases.
That you
Therefore, I
probably
can't
should.
have an informed opinion about the main case that I'm talking about.
Quasi.
Well,
No offense, but like every time we try to bring you a similar example, you shut us down by saying that you don't know about it, so we can't talk
It
about
isn't
it.
an
You know,
excuse, by the way. We've been polite about it, fairly. Like, frankly, it's
you
not an
don't have
excuse.
to be polite. All three of you can dogpile me. You can
I don't
tell me
want to.
whatever you
That's
want.
not what
no,
we're about. That's not what
just
we're
trying to
about.
have a conversation. That's all. We're just trying to have a
It's not
conversation.
gonna hurt my feelings.
Listen,
okay?
listen. Listen. The reason we have you on today is because all of us, including myself, want to know what the fuck's going on with you, because you're somebody who can throw your weight around and in throw down. So I just want to see what you're up to. That's all. And we're giving you a chance to explain yourself.
So I'll reiterate my main points of contention.
You
My
really
main
should.
point of contentions.
You should address
are-
what we
I,
said
I
about
haven't
the
seen
contextual.
anything about the doxing stuff. I'm open to seeing that. Every time I ask for proof, no one.
Okay,
gives
so
me
let's
that.
you brought that up
My
twice.
other point is about the Actman situation. Did he abuse the system by doing it? I don't think he abused the system. I'm not making a determination whether or not Actman's video was fair use or not. I think he was within his rights to submit it. That's
So can I
pretty much-
ask
that's
you,
it.
as a creator,
Uh-huh.
let's remove the legal precedent aspect of it. Let's just completely throw that
That's
part
my
out.
only part of it.
This is the creator situation I'm going to ask you. As a creator, if you're being criticized, would you strike a video as a creator that's negative against you because you didn't like what they were saying about a take that you had on a video game?
Okay, so my whole point is about the legal thing. I don't care.
But
You can
that's
say
the
whatever you
important part.
want.
You
Is
should.
that he's using it. You should care because that's the
I only
important
care
part
about
here.
the legal part. All I'm
But-
arguing is legality. I'm not arguing morals. I don't care about your
No.
feelings or
It's not
No, because
morals. It's
feelings in this
contextual evidence,
situation.
dude. It's
Well,
not.
no,
It's not.
you're literally telling me. He's literally telling me throw out the law. Just from a creator
No.
standpoint, he is moralizing the thing. Like from a creator,
Hold on.
would you do?
You're
X,
not
Y, Z?
allowing me to continue the conversation here. So if we looked at it on a creator standpoint, would you strike that video? I would assume not. The problem is that when you file the DMCA as a way to shut down criticism against you, that starts the legal process. That's the issue that we're facing here. That's why everyone's mad at Quantum and calling him an abuser. Like,
Okay, cool.
how is that not a problem? How does he not have the title of being an abuser?
I mean, you can call him an abuser. I haven't seen it substantiated. You have to prove that he was abusing the DMCA, and specifically the
did.
cases that I'm arguing.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm getting frustrated, but we did do that with the tweet.
We've
Especially
what
like
tweet?
Riveter's example about saying that he was taking videos down due to criticism or public or parody of him. Because he couldn't take it on the chin. So that's a good example, a good enough example, I think. And
Wait,
if you
what
want that,
tweet
we
are
can
you
send
talking
you
about?
the link to it. Yeah, and we'll include it in the what.
So
Yeah,
here's
we'll put it in
here's
chat.
okay. So I
Or is it a
wanna-
video?
I want it was a video. I want to go back
Okay.
to and address something because you brought it up twice now, even though nobody here has ever made any allegations that he doxed anybody. Okay, I want to put
Chris the Narc.
I think this guy
He
has
was in my
autism.
DMs.
hey,
Matt.
hey Matt.
He was literally in my DMs saying that he tried to
So
send
hold
me
on.
proof that
So hold
he
on.
doxed
All right,
Zach,
so
but-
hang on. Let me
Yeah.
address this.
One at a time, guys. Yeah.
There are two definitions of doxing. Okay, there's the internet version of doxing, which is where you take the information that you gain from somebody that is not public, and you put it out there in a video format. You post it on a website somewhere. You tweet about it, whatever. You put their name, their address, phone numbers, whatever. That is doxing, and that's what I'm going to say 90% of the internet probably considers doxing. Okay, is that a fair statement? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that would be doxing.
Okay. All right. So here's another that continues on with that, right? It also has doxing is this. If you get somebody's private information and you use it for harassment or you use it to intimidate, okay? You do not necessarily have to post it publicly to be doxed. Now, while although Quantum never ever publicly put any doxing information out there, right, as far as a name or a phone number or an address or anything like that, he did use information that was available about Ackman to go online and do a research to find his mother's phone number, called the mother, and 100% tried to intimidate her through veiled threats of legal actions. Now that's not even debatable, because
Okay, no, I would say it is. But I wouldn't even call it veiled threats of legal action. He just said, "I will." I don't want to pursue legal charges.
That's not
this
what
is
he
where we're
said.
at, etc.
That's not what he
just
said.
I listened to the call actually.
What
At no
he
point
said,
is he rude to her. At no point is he saying
he
anything
said,
that's like he's going to bodily harm
okay,
her or harass
so he didn't say this. He didn't tell her that at this time, what's going on in the world, I don't want to drag you into legal whatever, lawsuits or whatever, right? He didn't tell her specifically that he was going to sue Ackman's mother. He didn't say that.
that he was going to sue the act man's mother.
Implied would be.
He said, I don't want to sue you.
I don't want to drag families into this.
Yes,
Yes.
drag families into this as in Ackman's part of that family, and he's saying,
Okay,
because
what?
of
Okay, but
coronavirus,
here's
a
the
lot of people
question.
Don't have as
So,
much money. There's
okay,
already enough
all right.
stress, and he's saying,
I'm-
I don't want to go
I'm-
through this.
Okay, he doesn't have the money, and he didn't want to go through the stress. What did
Well, he's
Ackman's?
just
Hang on.
making blatant stuff.
Okay, but what did Ackman's mother have to do with any of this?
I assume he's just trying to get in contact with someone.
No, he was already in contact with him through DMs. He was already talking to Ackman in DMs. Were you aware of
Okay.
that?
I've heard people claim that he was in contact with him, which may as well be true, but you don't have to. Whenever
Well,
you're
hold
filing
on.
a DMCA, it doesn't mean that you can't use the information to go ahead and say, hey,
He
I'm
had
in contact
okay.
trying to resolve this. I wouldn't call that
All right.
harassment.
I don't understand. I don't understand how it's not logical to grasp.
Well,
this.
first, let's substantiate the DMs thing with Ackman. Ackman was in DMs with because apparently that's up in the
I
air.
also heard that he didn't respond after a while, was one of the things Quantum said, but that could be false. I don't take his word as gospel for.
So
All right.
to
myriad
go
of
over the
reasons.
DM situation with Ackman and Quantum, the Ackman and Quantum were in DMs during the time frame that the copyright strike happened for the hot takes video, and when he did the copyright abuser video, he even offered to talk to Quantum to kind of like clear the air and get rid of everything. Quantum refused multiple times. Those are actual DMs that are provable. He even said, I want to do a call with you. Quantum refused and said, I don't want you recording me. And he goes, I just want to talk to you man to man, is what Ackman said. And Quantum then refused to speak after that. This is all before the time frame that he started digging around for the Ackman's information to call him directly. He has him on Discord. There's no real reason to go the extra mile when you already have a level of communication with somebody.
So it seems
That's
like
the
the
issue.
reason why he did it was because he didn't want to have it recorded, and he didn't want to.
But the same thing can be
have
said
it
about the
posted
phone
as a
call that he
video.
did with his mother.
If he was
but
worried about
wait,
being
wait,
recorded,
but for the phone call thing, it didn't seem like that was a pre-planned thing. That's
It
from a
wasn't.
security camera.
but
He
okay, but
released that because of allegations that Ackman made, which it seems were just
it was
false.
it was a defensive move, right? But here's the important thing: why did he do any of that to begin with? If he could have just got a lawyer to be the intermediary, so he felt safe and was pursuing the correct legal process. And you can't say monetary issues. That's on him. Either drop
But
it
you
or get a
understand that
lawyer
if
and
he's
pursue it in
getting
court.
a lawyer, that would be, by your definition, still dox. You understand to serve someone, right? You would have to get their.
That's
their
a whole
point of
separate. That's a
contact.
whole separate
That's
thing.
that is
That's-
apples and
that's-
oranges,
He would-
dude.
Well,
Apples and oranges.
You're saying that would be doxing by your definition.
No, it's not.
I don't agree that.
I didn't say
that's
that.
doxing.
That's
didn't
not
say
what
that.
we're saying at all.
No, from
No.
the layout of what you've said, that the other definition of doxing is
No,
that
he
would
he.
because you
Okay.
would have to get their
Well,
information
no, the other.
to serve them.
No, what I said was, he was already in communication. He was already discussing. He was already talking to Act Man. He called his mother to simply try, and he said this in the video, to try to reason with her, to get her to reason with her son,
Which is inappropriate.
which is inappropriate. If you do not think that he did that as an intimidation act, I don't know what to tell you, dude, because
I didn't see the call as very intimidating. If you want to say it's inappropriate, that's totally fine.
It's a subjective view
So-
of the
okay,
call.
fine,
So-
subjective,
I
but
want to bring.
Well, yeah,
Sorry,
of
go
course,
ahead.
all of this is subjective. This is based upon.
But in the
our
broader
opinion.
context of all the other things we're mentioning, it paints a bigger picture of intent, because
So
he's
the-
avoiding at every possible opportunity legal action. And you can
This is-
blame money all you
Well,
want.
he is making illegal action. What you're saying is he's avoiding going to court.
Court, yeah.
Mhm.
So as you mentioned,
Because none of this has to be done on
wait,
Twitter or through DMs.
Well, hang on. As you
So-
mentioned before, who was the one that initiated the lawsuit for Junk and Median and versus Ray William Johnson? Was Ray.
Ray William Johnson initiated it.
So Actman, if he's he's a very wealthy individual. He's a man of
Mhm.
means. At any point, if he truly believed his case to be valid,
Why would I
he
argue for
would
Ackman?
sue-
Why would I
he would
argue for
sue- He
Ackman?
would then legally sue.
Actman
Because
is also a
you're saying that
douchebag.
You're saying that
Actman, listen. Actman is also a douchebag that is not correct.
Yeah.
So what does that have to do with my argument?
Wait, what do you mean by he's not correct? Correct in what way?
Meaning he's just as guilty of drawing this thing out and making it a spectacle instead of taking
Mhm.
proper legal recourse
Okay,
as
so
as
you
Quantum.
voted for both of them. Okay. No, that's
Yeah, so
fair.
you're attributing
Yeah.
a little bit of something that I never said, which is fine because those things happen. That's just an accident, a conversation we
A
kind
little
of
bit,
project.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We didn't go over that, so that's fair.
Yeah,
That's
so
fair
that's
enough if you
the
voted-
nuance of my take is I think both of these people are vastly stupid and they were
100%.
opportunistic to make this into like a little machine. I think if either of them really felt a certain type of way legally, they should have 100% knuckled down and intermediated between or whatever the word is with lawyers,
Yeah.
privately.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying if you're going to like we have to also give that branch over to fucking Quantum and address that as well. Like, and I'm trying to get you to admit that because
Well,
it
wait,
seems
no. If that's all you want me to admit, I think both of them should go to court. Yeah, I think this would be a great legal battle to set some legal precedent and help build cases of that. Yeah, 100%. I can.
it's
totally agree
so
with you there.
listen. I get that you're trying to be nuanced here, but there are some points that like you argue on that are at odds with one another, and I'm confused by that. Like
Can you point them out?
specifically how my brain just froze. Sorry. like Quantum. Oh, so Quantum not being abusive of the copyright system. You're giving excuses as to why like the intent is not there for Quantum. Yet we're happily ready to agree that Actman is just as abusive. So it's odd to me that like that's at ends with your
Sure,
argument.
what you mean there. My statement was just that I don't think he abused the DMCA process when he filed against Ackman. That's all.
Okay, then I guess we're really making a mountain
Okay.
out of a molehill.
right,
So
so
I have
That's
nothing to
literally
talk.
what I said from the start. Is those were
Yeah,
my only
okay.
two core, and I
Alright.
kept on repeating it, which he told me I didn't need to do, but apparently, I guess I did.
So here's what
Yeah.
I'll say. Okay. Initially, fine. Quantum may have been acting out of ignorance or whatever, right? But now that he has filed, like I said, I think at least a dozen or half a dozen that I know of, and in every one of these instances, YouTube has come back and said, no, this is fair use. Maybe it's because I'm from a different generation or whatever. I would think that I would have wised up by now, and I would have stopped doing this because I would have gotten tired of winding up with egg on my face.
Oh, that's it. You're defending Quantum. Yeah. So like the idea that you're defending Quantum, saying he's getting a lot of undue hate, it's like nah. No, he's getting the hate he
I mean,
he
the
deserves.
internet hate machine is going to do what it does. We're going to make
Well,
fun of people. We're going to
the
do
mobs-
that. It's just kind of fun.
like everyone hates the mobs. Like anything like that. Like
Mhm.
that's like that kind of hive mind behavior is just gross, and it's like it's indicative of somebody who has a black and white worldview, who is unable to consider things on a deep level. But to go to bat, like I see what you're doing, which is like you're trying to point out the like the low tier like grifters on the platform, you know, who are just riding a wave of hate mongering. But in like I said before, to some extent, I can get on board with that, and I really find it we're cut from the same cloth. Like I hate that also, and I would do the same thing. But I think it's kind of a Achilles heel for you to go into that situation, even though you knew you were going to win. There are some shortcomings to your own knowledge that I think we kind of elucidated here. That maybe you should have been a little more well versed on, and it shows kind of a failing on your part. No.
No. I would say for my claims, as again, I'm not arguing about this or that. I'm arguing specific things. I don't give a fuck about Susie, Lucy, Goosey, whatever the fuck. I'm not
Getting
making a
away with murder.
determination against like what fair use is or isn't. My only thing was because let's be honest, he's not getting the hate because of Susie. He's not getting the hate because of this thing from 2013. That's not what people are grifting off of. What gets you views? What gets you clicks? It's Quantum TV with Actman in the title. Like the other guy, Soru, I think his name was Jack. Soru. He's very ill informed of the subject, but it's very lucrative. It's very lucrative to just regurgitate the the current opinion. Quantum bad. He's making a lot of videos on that. You can see the disparity between his normal videos and the videos with Quantum and all that stuff, which is fine. That's how YouTube is played, for better or worse. My only thing was that I didn't believe that the original thing that sparked this all was necessarily abuse. YouTube sided with that comment, saying that Quantum TV did not abuse their system. I think they should both go to court over it because they clearly both have very strong opinions. And if Quantum really wants to stop people from using his content, all he has to do is sue the biggest person, who is the thing, which would be Actman, for abuse of his copyright.
We
I think that
agree
would settle a lot.
90, and we agree on 90% of that. But however, there's one caveat, and I would like you to admit, if I could show you video where, and I don't know if it exists still, I hope it does, but where Quantum TV expresses that he uses copyright claims to quell dissent, to stop parody, or to stop criticism, would you concede your point that he is actually abusing the copyright system?
It depends. Because one of the
I would
core
hope
tenets
so.
of fair use is
I would really hope so.
one of the core tenets is the effects on the rights holder. So let's say you're making like a Sonic or MLP parody, right?
But he's not doing it
No,
for
no,
that.
hang on. Just like,
Okay, I'll follow you. Go ahead.
yeah, just follow me down this yellow brick road, okay?
Yep, we're going.
For example, for Fighting Is Magic, Fighting Is Magic was an MLP-based fighting game that was using the Hasbro IP, trademarks, etc., likeness. And it was the fighting game that had a lot of the characters beating each other up. Now, that is You could argue that there's some parody there, of course. The characters don't do this normally. However, the effects on the rights holder and the ability for this to be confused with Hasbro owned properties or officially licensed Hasbro merchandise or affiliation is pretty high. The effects on it could be that they lose connections because now they're being affiliated with violence or violent things. In a lot of these cases, if he's being portrayed as being some sort of way, uh, whether it be some of the terminology that's being used, if that is that could be an effect on the rights holder if they're using his content in a way that is affecting the original rights holder. I can't make a 100% determination. I'm not a copyright lawyer,
Or a
even if
judge.
I
Yeah.
have or a judge. Now, I have some experience, but that doesn't experience isn't enough. I'm not in the bar. I'm not that. That's why I say it depends.
And guys, I think we're gonna retread this circle. We're circumambulating a rock here that I don't think we're gonna break. And I really like this conversation today. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
Well, we've
But,
got okay. So a couple of things real quick. We had a donation from Nicholas. Says, "Wow, Black Man is succeeding, and everyone out here is hating. He did not abuse the copyright system. He tipped $5 on that. Appreciate that. We
Right,
have
you
a
tipped $5 for that.
yeah.
That's
He tipped
That's,
$5
that's
for
what
that.
somebody wanted to waste their money on.
hey, it's not a waste of money. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
No,
we
I know.
appreciate-
I mean, tipping to you guys is what it's
So
for, you know.
There you go.
we have a caller, Gara the Rage. So let's pull-
yeah, he's like gonna get me, man. I'm here for it, Gara. I'll be your Rock Lee, baby.
so
Gara, welcome to the show. How you doing today? What do you
Oh,
got
boy.
for us?
Hands
Give me a
are
hot
off on
minute.
this one.
Okay, we are live, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
we,
Gara. You can't really do
Gara,
that.
we are
Bro,
Okay,
you
so
can't
he's
do that.
on the air.
in his defense,
Yeah.
he's been down there for a while, so
Okay.
he may not be quite ready. But I
Well-
don't have the video.
Let me-
right
let me-
here at my
let me say this real
fingertips,
quick.
but I will get
Regardless-
the video.
Yeah, let me say this real quick. Regardless of like what the rest of the stuff we talk about today, I personally, for me, I think I've gotten all I need to know. And Molly, I really appreciate you coming on the show, dude. Like, absolutely. I think we had a productive talk, albeit kind of confusing and butting heads at times. But I don't think we got off base with each other, or crossed any lines. So
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
the content's all about, Gotta make
It's
it
not just
interesting.
content that obviously we play the game, we clickbait, stuff like that. But I do very much enjoy just talking to people. And there were times I could have, like manipulated the fucking conversation and tried to like misrepresent you. I didn't, I think I showed you that I'm good faith here. So I hope that I did at least. So
I mean, I don't. To be clear, I don't think any of you. I don't think Soro. I was a little heated with Soro, but that's just more because of his. I don't know. It seemed blatantly ill-informed. But
I would have
also,
done the
I'm-
same thing. Like I said,
I don't think you guys are like evil or malicious. I don't think Quantum is a good person. I've seen his stuff about the homophobia, the tweets about that. I think he's probably a real tosser. So in a kind of cosmic way, maybe karma, but yeah. You guys are fine blokes. You do what you do. You talk about what you talk about. I wish nothing but success for everyone.
did
Well,
out. And go ahead.
I was going to say I concur with Banana. I think probably all things considered, Molly, I'm probably about in 90 to 95% agreement with some of your stuff. I think where we're going to differ, and we might not ever agree on, is I think at this point, at least in my mind, because of what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've read, I do believe that Quantum is blatantly abusing the ID tool as a means by which to stifle criticism of him. He is still, within his rights to do what he does. The problem of it is that it is. For some of these smaller YouTubers that have never had to deal with a copyright or anything like that, it's a little bit alarming. It's a little bit unnerving for them. But it's also, I guess, over the last few months, has allowed me to meet some of these young people, give some sage advice in some cases. and kind of whatever. But I still think that he's causing the Streisand effect in his life, and he doesn't understand why people are still talking about him. Whether he just took it on the chin, shut up, moved on, quantum would not be something that probably anybody ever talked about, ever.
Yeah, 100%. If he just took if he was just like, took the W that YouTube said, he didn't at least abuse it. Now he didn't
Yeah.
get those videos taken down,
Yeah.
but all publicity is good at publicity. You know,
Yeah.
those ad dollars come in the same whether you're disliking,
Sure.
whether you're hating, man. So
Yeah.
Hubris never changes. And with
No.
that, I think we need to bring in Gara, our caller. Gara, you there? If you are, unmute and ready to say something.
Yeah,
Gara,
he does this. There
Yellow,
he is.
yellow.
Hey, what do you got for us, Gara? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you, fine gentlemen?
Great.
Just
What you got?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot to say. But let's just say most people don't understand what quantum TV does, but a lot of people that have been following this very carefully, like Chris, Minxie, pretty much me, trust me, quantum TV does not have a leg to stay on.
I won't
And,
trust you, but don't take that
No, it's
personally.
okay. No. I don't.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
fair. Like you have the documents, provide them. We'll see. And like if things are much worse in the state of Denmark than we already know of, then yeah, let's see it. Let's hear it. But other than that, I don't think anything changes for me, or what I've already said.
Yeah, I mean, there's really much I can't contribute right now because I mean, me and him could go for like hours on end with this podcast. But it just, how can I explain it? I don't think it would be entertaining, and I think everybody would probably just like, I'm done. So that's it.
I mean, was there something you had a lot of heat in the Twitter, and I know Twitter fingers have a way of speaking for a man, but it's had a lot of heat on the timeline, my guy. Surely there's something you want to say.
I mean, this isn't my podcast to make those decisions, so
But you came
let's
on.
leave it at that. Yeah.
Gara,
Is there something you wanna say?
You're more than welcome. You have our I get
Yeah,
you know,
just
yeah,
no
we-
inwards or anything like that.
Dude, we
Nothing
brought you
no,
up here.
no, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
so-
do
so
that. No, good lord, no.
if we weren't going to allow you to talk, we wouldn't have brought you into the conversation.
Yeah,
so,
Britton, show us what you
yeah,
got.
yeah, go ahead.
Lucha.
Okay, fair enough. So you like to say that, he doesn't, okay, I should say, you say he's in his legal right? I can't say your name. I'm sorry, man.
Molly,
Go ahead.
just call me Molly.
Molly. Okay. So you say he's in the legal right to do all this, right, Molly?
That seems like it.
So how about I've passed all the evidence to my lawyer and says, no, he does not.
Is your
I
lawyer
have-
a copyright lawyer?
Yes, he's worked for Google under the branch of copyright for YouTube.
All right, great. He's not he doesn't have the confidentiality that would be stated for Actman or Quantum TV. I mean, he's not part of this. It seems very weird for a lawyer to err on the side of a case where he's not he doesn't have the privilege.
It's because I'm
information
getting
that would
legal
be
advice.
between both clients. So that seems really weird. That's like that's like a psychologist diagnosing someone who's not a patient from videos. So yeah, I don't know what you want me
Shout
to say
out
with that.
to what's his name? Who's that guy?
Gara of the Rage just donated us $1 saying that
Duplicate.
said
go ahead.
911 was an inside job.
What was his name?
Yeah.
Rewired Soul. There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jesus. Brain's fried today.
But yeah, I mean that would be my
But go ahead,
response
go
to
ahead,
that.
Morgan, I'm
I
sorry.
can't- Yeah, that's my response. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. This lawyer doesn't have the privileged information. He's making a determination based upon the biased information that you've given him, whether or not, not to use that as an insult, but obviously, if you have a side, your information will always be slightly biased, no matter what, and no one can get
Yeah.
rid of that.
Well,
and
of
so
course.
it
But
doesn't
here's the
really
problem,
mean
though.
anything.
I've given multiple chances to Quantum TV to come talk to about his side and understand where he's coming from, but he doesn't want to do that. He cowers
Do you,
because.
wait,
Go
do
ahead.
you go after him the
Gara,
same way
be
you did
careful.
from me on Twitter, where you're like, dude, you better not fucking run, I'm gonna knock you out. Like, like, yeah, of course he's not. He gets a lot of hate. Why would he
Not
want to
really.
put himself
No.
into
Not
that?
really. If you watch my videos, I'm very polite to him.
How many videos do you make? You make a lot of videos on him, right?
Not that much. I mean, I haven't. What was it? Like the first time when the mischief thing happened, I didn't make videos on him for like months upon months.
Yeah, I mean, cool. He doesn't have to come talk to you. You wouldn't even be part of the
Oh, that's
legal
after
suit.
that, bro.
Like,
That's after that.
okay, but yeah, he doesn't have to. What do you want me to do? Tell you why he's not talking to you?
No,
I
I'm just
can't tell
saying
you
that
why
I
he's
don't
not
want to be
returning your
biased in this
calls, man.
situation. I want his side of the story, but he doesn't come talk to us about it. He
He
hides.
doesn't have to. What do you want me to? What do you want me to? Do you think I have his number? You want me to get his autograph on a starter cap? Like, what
That'd
do
be
you
cool.
want from me? I. He doesn't talk to you. Okay, cool.
All right.
like I'm
Anything?
saying. Go ahead. I'm
anything-
sorry, man.
No, it's okay. Anything? Do you have anything else, Gara?
Not really until I post that one video, but that's about it.
All right,
That's
well,
your
we'll
heat, dude. That was your heat. Where you're gonna like destroy
I think-
me. I better not run. Is it
fairness-
Quantum TV doesn't return your calls? Like, come on, dude. What is this?
I don't know Gara, but I think he's saving his heat for his video. Are you not, Gara? Or so you're trying to do? I don't know.
I'm saving a lot of the heat for the video, to be honest.
Okay,
I'll
so
make sure not to watch it because I don't care about Quantum.
Oh boy.
But I wish you a lot of ad revenue on it, my guy. May the algorithm bless you with. Okay.
I don't need it.
I
don't
hope
need
you
it.
get that Bugatti red.
Well, thanks for calling in, Gara. We appreciate it. Have a good day.
Yeah, I know.
buddy.
It wasn't too much, but it's like I was coping and seething in chat anyway. So
All
I
good.
understand. It's all good.
All
buddy.
good.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
Call again.
Yeah, have a good one. So
right.
yeah,
That's
the
fine.
volume line, I get it. You don't care about, you don't give two rat shits about Quantum TV. Is that a fair statement?
Not as like I think it's kind of fucked up the level of hate that he gets, but I mean the internet's gonna internet. He's pulling
Well-
a Christian or DSP. He's not the best thing he can do. Listen, kids. All right, I've been terminally online for a long time from the dark ages. All right, the best thing you can do is just ignore it. Stop going on Twitter.
Yeah,
Don't
Riveter.
respond.
Yeah.
I think we tread all the ground we're possibly going to tread today.
Oh,
we
yeah.
really exhausted
So-
it.
Yeah, there's
Chris, do you
yeah.
have anything else, Chris?
Honestly, not much. If individuals are going to come in and obviously, smaller channels are going to make videos, I agree with, Banana and everything that they need to be more accurate on these things, and getting called out happens.
100%.
The situation being, though, is that the individual who does the call outs should be, no offense to you, Molly, should be a lot more versed on the situation a little bit more. And anybody for that case. Like for me, like anytime I cover a topic, I want to be as versed as possible, especially if I'm confronting somebody. So in the event of the situation with the Soru live stream, I think there was a lot of miscommunication and there was a lot of gaps in that conversation that led to, us having this conversation in the first place. I think we've cleared a lot of the air on that. I know you don't really care about the Quantum TV thing at all, and you think he's getting a lot of hate, but if he, continues to strike these small channels, it's a problem. As a creator, we should all kind of like sit back and go, hey, he's doing this constantly and it's not stopping. And a strike on a channel is pretty big. Sure, like you get a warning and everything, but it's a horrible feeling. And no creator wants another creator to feel that strike feeling. Nobody wants to feel that way.
And to
Nobody
be
wants
fair, Quantum is just the most public version of
He
this
is.
abuse. Like
Yeah.
there's far worse examples. Like AC of CA, a friend of the show, his
Yeah.
music was getting claimed. I don't know too much about it. I know he's been on hiatus
Mhm.
because somebody was basically stealing his music, his videos off of what was it? Do you remember that program he used, Riveter?
I'm sorry, I spaced out. What?
That's okay. Anyways, so he's having his own problem with somebody who listed themselves as flamenco. AC, his videos.
Oh,
being
yeah,
claimed
yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
music. Yeah. So on so like it's like it's a bigger problem than just Quantum TV, but he seems to
Yeah.
be the one taking
Yeah.
all the
He
spotlight on
is.
it.
Well,
So-
like an example is like Acer Thorn too. Acer Thorn was in the news for a while during his wild copyright strike spree as well. Like Quantum is the one that has the most, notoriety levied against him. But an example, just like what Nerdy brought up, is like the Susie Lou thing. These people are everywhere.
Yeah.
Quantum's just the easiest one because he has so much to give. Like example again.
Yeah. But
So we had a dono right quick. Gara of the Rage tipped us another $1 Says, if you believe quantum TV abused copyright, then you're racist, right, Banana Grabber?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh
That's
my
not that's
God.
not the real Gara. We know that Gara. We know exactly who that is, and he's just being him, so that's fine.
He's just
Oh.
trolling. He's just
He's
trolling.
just
We do a little
trolling,
trolling. We've got a
Yeah, we got a
spicy
little
audience.
trolling. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Okay. But,
But
yeah,
also,
let's-
Chris, thank you for being on the show as well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate
Well,
you taking the
no,
time.
guys,
and
seriously,
coming on.
I'm glad to come on anytime. I
Okay.
enjoyed this conversation. I enjoy this level of conversation. Like me screaming and yelling on my channel is fun with all the receipts and everything
Yeah.
like that. But conversations like these are rarely had anymore on YouTube. So good on you guys to have,
Well,
civil conversations.
I'm too old for that kind of nonsense. I can muster it up every once in a great while, but then I'm dead for 6 months. So
You
Yeah.
don't want a flamenco Augie sort of screaming match.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Mango? Oh, you guys are in the circle. Okay, that explains some of the super berries. Okay, I get it.
yeah, no, we're
I don't know.
not.
I don't know
No, we're
anything
not.
about I don't know
We're-
anything about
no.
flamenco. I don't
That's
know
just a
anything about
joke. I
flamenco.
barely know
Yeah.
about it. I just
Yeah.
saw the Augie stream 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
that's-
I gotta piss. So
Of course you do. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up. Molly, we appreciate you coming on. Chris, as always, appreciate you as well. Go ahead, Molly, and tell the people if they're interested, maybe come and checking out your content, where they can find you at. And
If you guys want to go ahead and leave me some hate mail, you can go ahead and go to Malignus Theater. My main channels, I'm not as active on there. But yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter at Malignus and shoot me your hot takes, and I'll probably get to it in like 7 hours when I wake up.
anyway, I do know you do a lot of was it Fortnite play and stuff. So I don't know how good of a Fortnite player you are. I didn't see anybody run around with blue hair, so I don't think you're quite ninja yet. But
No, I have purple hair, so
Purple hair?
It's almost
Fair.
there. Okay,
almost
there.
cool. But anyway, we do appreciate you coming on. We appreciate having the civil conversation. And I think, hopefully everybody in the audience was entertained above all things. So, and with
Yeah.
that, remember, guys, to keep your powder dry, and we'll see you in the funny papers.